Hey everyone, welcome. Today we're diving into something truly revolutionary coming out of Brazil. It's this elegant, kind of low-tech architectural design that's solving one of our planet's biggest high-tech problems. How on earth do we stay cool? I mean, just think about that for a second. As temperatures creep up everywhere, our first instinct, right, is to grab that AC remote. But what if the real solution isn't about using more and more energy, but about building smarter, right, from the ground up? Well, that's exactly what's happening. In Brazil, architects and engineers are taking a page from the history books to design the future, creating a whole new generation of buildings that literally cool themselves. So first, let's just get a handle on the problem. Brazil is getting hit with increasingly brutal heat waves, and for millions of people, a modern home made with conventional materials, well, it's becoming a trap. It's turning into a literal oven that stays hot long after the sun goes down. And here's the heart of the issue. Typical modern construction uses these thin walls that just soak up heat like crazy. It pours in all day and then gets trapped at night. But these new smart wall homes, they're completely different. They act more like a thermal haven, keeping the temperature stable and comfortable 24/7. So what is this game-changing technology? It's called the smart wall. And it's a really powerful and, surprisingly simple answer to the huge challenge of our homes overheating. This is the perfect way to think about it. The smart wall doesn't just block the heat, it actively manages it. It literally soaks up all that thermal energy during the hottest parts of the day, acting just like a massive battery. So how can a wall act like a battery for heat? I mean, that sounds kind of crazy, right? Well, the answer is in this powerful scientific principle that we've actually known about for centuries. It's a concept called thermal inertia. And all it really means is that a really dense material, like a thick stone or packed earth, has this incredible ability to absorb a huge amount of heat and then release it very, very slowly. This one property, that's the key to this whole system. This breaks it down perfectly. So check this out. Around midday, that thick outer wall is just soaking up all that intense sun. Then an air gap acts as an insulator, really slowing that heat transfer down. So by the time evening comes and it's starting to cool off outside, the wall finally begins to release all that heat it stored up, but it does it super slowly. And the result? The peak heat inside the house is delayed by 6 to 8 hours. It keeps the home cool during the hottest part of the day and comfortable all night. It's genius. The materials they use are just as clever. We're talking about high-density, often natural materials like adobe and stabilized earth blocks. And here's a fantastic little bonus. These materials also breathe, which helps to naturally regulate humidity. And that's a major benefit in some of Brazil's muggier climates. Okay, but here's something that's really important to get. As effective as these walls are, they don't work in a vacuum. They're part of a complete, holistic system that's designed for what we call passive cooling. As you can see right here, while the smart walls are a huge piece of the puzzle, they work together with other strategies. A high mass or reflective roof is almost as important. It can cut the heat coming from above by an extra 8 to 10 degrees Celsius. And then strategic shading is your first line of defense, blocking the sun before it can even touch the building. It's all about harmony. All these elements have to work together. You've got cross ventilation that pulls in cool night air. You use extended eaves in these traditional sunbreakers called brise-soleils to provide critical shade. And maybe most importantly, these designs are customized for the local climates, from the dry heat of the Northeast to the humidity of the Amazon. So what does this all actually mean in the real world? Let's take a look at the actual impact this is having on people's lives and, on the environment. First up is just comfort. Homes with these smart walls see an average drop in internal heat buildup of up to 30%. That's not just a small tweak, that is a massive, life-changing difference when it's just relentlessly hot outside. And that jump in comfort translates directly into savings. With way less need for air conditioning, homeowners are seeing their monthly electricity bills drop by 40% or even more. That's a huge relief, especially for families on a tight budget. And the benefits just cascade from there. This approach eases the strain on the whole country's power grid during heat waves. It lowers greenhouse gas emissions, you're using local materials, so the building's carbon footprint shrinks, and on a human level, it improves public health, sleep quality, and even how productive people are. It's a win-win-win. So you see, this is way more than just a clever building technique. It really represents a true paradigm shift, a return to a more sustainable and frankly intelligent way of building our world. What's so inspiring to me is how this whole journey connects the past, the present, and the future. It starts with the ancient wisdom of indigenous communities who built with the earth. Today, you have architects using supercomputers to refine and perfect those exact same techniques. And tomorrow, this could easily become a global model for how we all build in a warming world. Ultimately, this whole movement comes down to one simple, incredibly powerful idea: working with nature, not against it. By embracing this, Brazil isn't just building cooler homes, it's building a more sustainable and resilient legacy for the future. Which kind of leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? In this age of high-tech gadgets and complex solutions, maybe the smartest technology of all is the one that simply works in harmony with the natural world. To learn more and read the great article that inspired this whole explainer, you can visit our source, Fair Solution. Thanks so much for watching.